Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Omniviewer, and I'm here with just a quick little unscripted thought about something that literally was just announced. Apparently, there is going to be an official Godzilla anime film. And I know some of you might hear that and be thinking, oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that, King Ghidorah's gonna be in it, that's gonna be cool, they got the original composer, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know what you're talking about, that's not it. That, as far as I can tell, is more of an independently made piece. This is an actual official film from Toho, going to be animated, coming out in 2017. There's a teaser image on the website which looks like this. And that is pretty much all we know at the moment. Well, actually, there is one other thing. Apparently, the writer, and I apologize in advance if I'm screwing up his name, Gen Urobuchi, I believe. I'll put the correct version somewhere down here. But the most popular works you might know him for are Psycho Pass and Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Two very dark, very cerebral, very concerned with being thought-provoking anime series. Now, I haven't seen Psycho Pass, but I have seen Madoka Magica, and I did like it. It was a really good series. So, that's going to make for a very interesting Godzilla film, I can imagine, just having him write it. And that seems to be the theme so far, because I've heard that Godzilla Resurgence, or Shin Godzilla, or whatever you choose to call it, is also a very experimental, very different kind of Godzilla film. And no spoilers in the comments, I'm serious. I'm trying to avoid the spoilers as best I can. Please do not put any spoilers in the comments for that movie. But anyway, we're talking about this upcoming Godzilla anime movie, which is simply called Godzilla at this point. Might change. And let's put that image up again. Now, that doesn't really give us much to go on, does it? We have what looks like a spaceship, what looks like people in spacesuits, a vast expanse of forest that is very foreboding and dark looking, for all intents and purposes, and even though the word Godzilla is there, in English no less, there is no sign of the King of the Monsters himself. Now, that's kind of an unusual image to give us as our first teaser. It just makes me wonder what it could possibly be. I mean, that's my primary goal here. I want to do a little speculation. What could this movie possibly be based on this image? Because they have to have chosen it for a reason, right? So, just for the heck of it, here are my ideas. These are the three things I think could possibly be the direction this movie's gonna go. I'm probably wrong, but I'm just gonna guess. Speculation is half the fun. So, the first thing that comes to my mind is that this is set in the distant future. Mankind has left Earth, possibly because the monsters started to overrun it. Now they're coming back to see what it's like, how things have changed, and maybe Godzilla is still there. He's waiting there, and so are the other kaiju, or maybe new kaiju, who knows. If I had to put money on it, I'd say that would be the most likely one of the guesses I'm going to make. But that seems to be what makes sense. Because look at the image again. That sure does look like a futuristic spaceship, and they are clearly wearing full spacesuits for all intents and purposes. Those three little guys down there. Second possibility is that it's maybe time travel. That's a possibility, that what looks like a spaceship is actually a time machine, and it's going back in time to discover the origins of these monsters. I mean, there's always been the implication that a lot of these kaiju have been around since prehistoric times, so who knows? That I think would be the second most likely of the ideas I have. And the third possibility is that maybe it's a complete departure, that it goes with another planet or maybe a parallel dimension, and they're traveling to that where the kaiju are all exist instead of humans, kind of like the recent IDW comic Godzilla Oblivion. I don't think that's the case. It's the least likely one, I believe. But, you know, it's still a possibility. And it's possible that all three of those are wrong, and maybe what looks like a spaceship is actually a mobile research lab on Monster Island. I don't know. It's a very bizarre image to choose, as I keep saying. But I'm also interested just to see what it would be like to have an animated Godzilla movie. From Toho specifically. There have been animated Godzilla things before. You may recall my very long review of the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla cartoon with a second opinion, and there was the series based on the 1998 movie called Godzilla the Series, which was actually much better than the film it was based on. But those were both made for an American audience. They're not anime. This is made in Japan for a Japanese audience, and therefore it counts as anime. And we haven't actually gotten a Godzilla anime before. In fact, kaiju in general are kind of absent from anime. Have you ever noticed that? It's kind of weird. I mean, I've racked my brain, I've looked through all the different databases. The only thing I can really come up with, the only shows I found that might kind of sort of qualify as kaiju in terms of anime and such are Neon Genesis Evangelion, which the angels in that aren't really the focus of the series, and it got very cerebral towards the end. Attack on Titan, although the Titans look kind of normal-ish, and, well, that's a topic for another day. Nobunaga, kind of, if I'm understanding the premise right. Gunbuster and Diebuster, which I'm counting as one thing, may have kaiju in them if you squint and turn your head slightly. And I guess you could say Pokemon and Digimon and those kind of shows, but most of those are about really small creatures. I mean, the title of Pokemon, the alternate title literally is Pocket Monsters. That means they're tiny. You can fit them in a ball this big. We're talking about big monsters here. Kaiju are supposed to be the giants. So, oh, and there was one called Neoranga. It was not good, but that's a review for another day, don't you worry. So, this'll be interesting, I think. It's, I've often wanted to see what Godzilla would be like in animation from an actual Japanese company. We've seen what it's like when Americans do it, and they haven't done a bad job. But I'm very curious to see what an actual proper Godzilla anime would be like. And they got a very interesting person to go behind the scenes and do it. So, who knows? Like I said, here's the image again. I don't know what that means. I could be right in any of my speculations, or I could be way off base. But either way, I'm looking forward to this. I'm a Godzilla fan, though. I always look forward to anything Godzilla related. So, just wanted to throw that out there, make you aware if you weren't aware already, and yeah, just throw some ideas of what I think it might be. And seriously, no spoilers about Shin Godzilla in the comments. That's not a dare, that is an honest request. But anyway, until such time as we meet again, this is the Omniviewer, signing off.